Hey guys, it's Cameron O'Hearn here with Mass of the Ages, and today we're ranking church music. So, from F tier, bottom of the dumpster, to S tier, the best of the best, we're going to be ranking all your favorite songs. This is the definitive list. We will hear no arguments to the contrary. This is all the music that you need to care about as well. Actually, no, that's not true. This is obviously a very small portion of church music that could possibly be heard in the Catholic Church. And your favorite might or might not be on here. But depending on how this goes, maybe this is the first episode of many. And we hope you are not too angry with how we rank your songs. So, anyways, I'm joined here with other artists and musicians. So, let me bring them up on screen. Excuse me. So, we'll go around clockwise. So Joe and Graham, Mark, and Dan, why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Joe.
I'm Graham.
Sorry. We're part of Floriani Sacred Music, my bad, which is a men's sacred music ensemble dedicated to revitalizing sacred music in America. My apologies.
Great. Mark, who are
Joe's
you?
really quick. Joe's a bass, and I'm a baritone. So that's where we fall in the singing scheme.
I'm a bass as well. I wish I.
Nice.
Well, I'm probably a baritone, but I want to be a bass. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't we all? we want to be tenors too, maybe.
Yeah. Hey,
Hi,
Mark.
I'm Mark Novakovsky. I'm a composer of, I would say, new classical music, sacred music, orchestral music, chamber music, and I had the great honor of being the composer for all three parts of Mass of the Ages.
Yes, you did. You did an incredible job.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was awesome. Thank you for that. I'm Dan Driver. I work for Mass of the Ages, but I'm in a former life. I was a rock guitarist, so I still play guitar to this day, and I still sing. Probably a tenor, I'm guessing, but I've not ever tested it.
Mark, did you ever sing?
Badly. Yeah, I did play some guitar though. Yeah.
What position are you?
I'd say I'm roughly a baritone.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
We almost got a whole choir here.
Yeah.
All right, so today we're ranking sacred music. We got a tier list here. If you want to follow along, so I'm not going to play clips from these songs because if you play like 5 seconds of some of these songs, they'll just immediately take your video down from YouTube. But you can find the playlist in the description. So as we're talking about a song, you can find it. You can listen to some of it while we're talking about it. And we're going in alphabetical order. It's completely random. The goal here is to get everything ranked and for it not to be too heavy in one spot. Usually with these lists, it's nice to have kind of like a bell curve, but we'll see how it hashes out. We don't know what everyone else ranked these songs. There's going to be some heated discussions. Not all of us will make it out if you're alive, but I'm excited. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Can I quickly make a note? We got this selection of songs, most of them, from a little quiz thing we did on Instagram where people voted and put in their favorite songs. So that's what this is composed of. If you see songs like All Are Welcome, those are Cameron's favorite songs. So
Exactly. A tier at least. All right. We'll start off with Adoro Te Devote by Aquinas. So I guess we'll start just from top down. Maybe we'll do a reverse order. So I ranked Adoro Te Devote in the B tier. Floriani, what do you guys got?
So I'll go first. I put it in B tier as well. I put it towards the front of my B tier though.
So this might be a little controversial. I put it in C tier, not because I dislike it, but because my method for scoring all of these is I assigned a few different categories, like lyrics, musicality, whether it's apt for the thing that it was composed for, and then just subjectively, what do I like it? So I ranked each of those out of 5 for an aggregate out of 20. It has a 15 out of 20, which is good, but it just speaks to the sort of the relative strengths of a lot of the pieces here. So C tier for me.
Mark.
I'm going to give it an A. Actually, I think it's one of those undisputed, brilliant melodies that is stuck for a reason, and it matches simplicity with memorability, and it's entirely liturgically appropriate as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I too would give it an A. Yeah, not much to add there.
Okay, that's interesting. So we got a B, a C, an A, and an A. So, was it Joe? Was it you that gave it a C?
I did give it a C.
I want you to talk a little bit more to the A's here.
Yeah, definitely. So again, the C for me, out of 5, I gave it a 5 on appropriateness, on aptness. On both the lyrics and the musicality, I gave them both 4s. They're beautiful. I do genuinely really like it. Subjectively, it's simply not my favorite. I'd very easily put it in B tier. So I'm not opposed to ranking it higher. That's just where it sort of landed with my system. So
Wait, what was that comment? Hold on, what was that comment?
Well, okay. All right, Trini. Wait, Trini. I see your point, but if you think about it this way, it wasn't written for liturgy, as far as I know. Correct me if I'm wrong, liturgy nerds in this discussion. And that, for me, automatically disqualifies it from ST if it wasn't. Just according to my ranking system. So I think we're probably agreed that it's like a B, right? Like,
yeah.
Is anyone wanting to change their rank? Because Trini is getting mad. I don't know.
Yeah, I sympathize with what Mark said about this. The simplicity of it really. It really it evokes the emotions, the devotion that St. Thomas Aquinas was expressing as regards to our love of the Eucharist. It does that so well in this simple way, and that does speak to me as it was one of those ones that I was moving between A and B anyways. I think that I would like to switch my vote for. I'd put it in A.
Wow, okay. B switches to an A. So the C and the A kind of cancel out. But then we got two
I'll
A's
shift
to
mine
one.
to a B.
Yeah. Well, you're switching yours to a B.
Well,
Well, that's A tier then.
I switched mine to a D.
That's like for now it's kind of bottom A tier.
Okay.
I think, right? Isn't that
Yeah, why don't you make the box a little bit smaller and put it in the bottom left of it so we can see that, like, because I think we're going to have, like, really strong A's and really, like, weaker, so it will help us understand, like, where we ranked it when we see the whole spread.
I see what you're saying.
So, like, make it a little smaller or something, I don't know.
Well,
you could also just scoot it off to the right.
So we're thinking, like, low A, right? I'll put it to the bottom kind of A thing. Does that make sense? Like that.
All right.
It's kind of at the bottom.
Right. I just want to say that Locutus of Borgia has my favorite internet name in a long time. If you guys are seeing the public chat here.
All right, so now we're moving on to all are welcome. Remember, it's alphabetical order. Dan, we'll start with you this time. Work our way up.
Oh wait, which one are we on right now? Hola, welcome. Okay. I mean, it's F. Yes, it's a very strong F.
Dan does not feel welcome.
I do not feel. I've never felt welcome by that song. In fact, I've felt the opposite. So it doesn't even do what it says. So.
Have you ever felt good listening to this song though?
Nope.
Okay.
I mean,
Mark.
Let me think. Search my soul. No, I haven't.
Mark.
Yeah, I have to give it an F. I think it's just the anthem of everything that was wrong with the 60s and 70s, and it's one of those very terrible childhood memories of mine.
Okay. All right, Floriani.
Yeah, so I put this one in the Fs as well, and as we go through, we'll see. You know, I imagine there's other Fs that rank lower than this one. For me, it was towards the top of the Fs, if that's for the good of the song. But it evokes what I like to call the feel goodies of the Holy Spirit rather than the fruits of the Holy Spirit. You know, it's like it gives you this feeling that you're doing something when actually you're not. You're believing.
You're talking about doing something.
So theologically, we'd have to ask if the Holy Spirit does give feel goodies, or if it, if it does quite go that shallow, and it's, yeah.
I mean, I think the Mormon God does the feel goodies. That's kind of the selling point there.
I think that to feel good in your faith is not, it's not contrary to the gift of the Holy Spirit, but I use the term sort of feel goodies as like, all are welcome, come into this place, we're going to feed you. And it's like, it doesn't speak to any of the demands of our faith. And I think that it can confuse people as to what the true faith is.
Yeah.
It's more appropriate to, like maybe as a radio commercial for a local diner.
Yeah,
it's on the level of like the Cheers theme song. It's kind of like that. Yeah.
Joe, did you give it an F as well?
I did put it in F as well, because in part the USCCB released a letter on Catholic hymnody where they sort of laid out principles for what good hymns for the Mass would be. And then they had an appendix where they called out a bunch of different hymns for a bunch of different reasons. And they actually sort of castigated All Are Welcome specifically because, number one, it minimizes the Eucharist. It's just, let us build a house where love is found in water, wine, and wheat. Yeah, thank you, Giorgio. Yes, that's another member of our group. But yeah, so like water isn't part of it, and it's presenting it as an ordinary banquet, and it also says throughout the hymn. It just presents like an incorrect view of ecclesiology. It's like, we don't build the church.
It's really childish as well.
Yeah.
Do you know, it's not childlike faith. It's sort of childish. And I think it's the kind of thing that you could teach little kids in a nursery school to make them feel welcome in that place, maybe.
Yeah,
but it's not appropriate for a mature Christian. It's bad.
I also gave it an F plus. It's not it's not the bottom of my F tier, but the song makes me feel like I stumbled upon this cult that's really happy, but something sinister is underneath it. And if it makes me feel good, I don't want to feel good. I'm like scared of it. Okay, so we're gonna put that F tier, maybe high F, because we got some F pluses there.
It was second from the bottom in mine.
Okay. Now we're moving on to Anima Christi, Christina. We'll start with me now. Let's see, Anima Christi. I gave an A for Anima Christi. I've sang this song at Mass. A lot of my A tier songs have moved me to tears. This one in particular has moved me to tears. I think it's a beautiful, the lyrics are incredible. It's a beautifully Eucharistic prayer, and singing this has brought me to tears. So I love Anima Christi. A tier.
Yes, Joe.
After you.
I have this in mid B, and I agree, Cameron, with that. It is a song that has moved me to tears, and I think that it has a great place in hymns for communion. And I think personally I prefer the chant version of the Anima Christi, but this song does, it evokes a wonderful sense of devotion, and it's a great meditative song. So I have it in mid B, and that's really more of a testament to the high quality of the other songs that we have in this list.
Nice. Joe?
So I guess I'm kind of a stone cold psychopath. I have it in mid D tier.
Oh my gosh!
And the
Ouch.
reason I have it there is that the Anima Christi is a really important, and no disrespect to Mr. Frisina, I think like musically it's very nice. But like the Anima Christi, it's like the quintessential post-communion hymn. Prayer. And congregationally, you're only ever singing a very small part of it. So you're never actually getting the benefit of the whole prayer. Like if you can hear the choir singing it, that's nice. I've never been moved to tears for it. Honestly, I find it a little saccharine.
Oh, you invalidate my tears.
I'm not invalidating yours. I'm just saying I've yet to see any of mine.
I've yet
So
to see
I think I realized I'm the bad guy today.
Yep. Mark, how about you?
This was a really tough one for me. Out of all of the ones on this list, this is the one I struggle with the most. I'm going to give it a C+.
Oh.
And the reason is I kind of went in order of, is it well composed? Do the words match the music, or does the music match the words? Is the vehicle complete? Is it sacrally appropriate as sacred music? And lastly, will it fit in the liturgy? For me, I think it does numerous things. It reminds me a lot of the Taizé repertoire, which I'm actually not against at all. For me, things like the Taizé repertoire, it's what I wish, I've gotten out of my wishes that all Catholics would be great fans of classical music. But I wish that their praise and worship and perhaps their lay leisure listening would look a little bit different. And I think pieces like this are very, very appropriate for that. And if Catholics love this piece and had it on their short list as they're driving in the car, or they're doing their praise and worship meetings, if they do that sort of thing, I'd be very, very happy if that's what praise and worship sounded like, which makes me maybe want to push it to the B- range. At the same point, I do think it trends a little bit saccharine, and I think it's compositionally a little too obvious. But I also appreciate how it would be accessible for a new choir. So it's one of those things where if you're telling me as a song of personal use or non-liturgical gathering, I'd probably give it like an A-. But in the whole category, I'll give it like a C+.
You guys are way too smart. All right, Dan, what did you rank this?
Mark, you said a few of the things that I feel, which actually might make me change my scoring on this, and Graham too, as well. I ranked it as a B. It does remind me of Taizé, and it is also a little bit saccharine.
I disagree.
I ranked it. It's made me cry before. It's moved me to tears, but then
Has a lollipop moved
I
you
don't
to
know.
tears?
no, but food has, and that's
Really?
that's important because yes, it has. Yeah, I've cried when I've drunk certain really good cocktails and really good steaks. Okay, so it's moved me to tears, but that's a guttural movement, right?
You're
It's
just
the movement
always being
of the
moved to
flesh
tears.
to something that is good. The goodness of it in of itself moves you. But then there's like a difference when you're at mass or something, and you have a personal kind of revelation of God's giving of Himself through the Eucharist, and then that moves you to tears. They're not on the same level, and I find that this one kind of moves me to tears on a more natural level, not manipulative, but something close to that. Sorry, I'm offending a lot of people. I do prefer the chant version. I found the version we listened to a bit more of a performance, and so I put it as a B, but actually I think I should have ranked it lower.
I will say
So
that
I might change.
Okay,
might
you
change
your
my.
mind.
Yeah.
The version we listened to is performative, but if we're
Yeah.
ranking this based on like what would its best iteration be, like on an objective standard, I don't think this song is performative. Maybe it's a little obvious. I wouldn't use this word saccharine because that means overly like sweet, right?
Sweet and sickly.
Overly sweet. It's not.
Yeah,
the
sickly.
song. The song is.
It's like a cupcake. A big dollop of cream on top of it. It's like you can enjoy it, but you can't.
The music the tone is like begging for Christ to remain with me. I get the sense of like begging and pleading more than like sweet feelings.
I could see that.
Okay, but you're still a D, right? Or C?
He was a D. I think I still am.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And okay,
All
just going off of something Mark said, if we were talking about, again, sort of like using this as sort of a personal devotional kind of thing, I would be a lot more sort of like generous with my ranking there. But because we're talking like specifically for the Mass,
It's a great communion hymn.
Yeah.
I've sung it for communion many times. I simply can't say that I'm a big fan.
So like you, after singing this song, you looked around, you're like, it's a D. Like looked around at your friends, like, that's probably a D.
Cameron, compared to this is not for me. This is not in the top 2/3 in terms of quality of the repertoire you provided us.
I get that.
If
Cameron,
that makes sense.
It's helped me as a singer. When I have sung this song, I feel it a lot more deeply than when I have heard this song on multiple occasions. And perhaps that's just sometimes you hear, really poor renditions. Sometimes you hear some that are a little bit better. But I think when I've sung it, it to me feels less saccharine. So I could sympathize there. At least when I sing it, it has a different experience and expression to me.
Above all.
Thanks, Scorpio.
So we're at A, B, D, C, B. So A, B, C, D, but an extra B thrown in there. So I think it's low B, right?
Probably low B.
I'm changing. You haven't asked me if I wanted to change my thing. I said I might change it.
Oh, okay. But yeah. What would you like to do?
I think that I am gonna lower the rank of it. I have a lot in A and B, and this doesn't come near any of the other ones. So
probably high C. Great drink.
Yeah, a high C. A high C.
All right.
Juicy.
Can't argue with our method. It is perfect. High C. Anima Christi. Not A tier, as it should have been. Okay, moving on. Ave Maria, Biebl. So Dan, now we start with you.
Okay, okay. Don't start with me. I need to make sure I have the correct one. Start with someone else because we're not going in the same
All right, I'll start.
order.
I put Ave Maria Biebl almost in my S tier, but I put it in my A tier. So something that I want to clarify for some of our viewers is we can't put everything in S tier or A tier. We can't put everything in F tier. S tier is reserved for like creme de la creme. What we all say is like, this is the best. So with that said, I give this an A, a solid A. It's just one of the most incredible pieces of music. It never gets old for me. I love singing it. Love the bass part. I love the 3-part harmony of the solos going on. It's incredible.
You first, Joe. I went first last time.
Okay, fair enough. I've sung this a number of times, both in mixed voices and also sort of set for equal voices. It's really nice. I have it in solid B tier. I think it's lovely. It was originally written for like a chorus of firemen, so the story goes. So it's very simple. It's very accessible. Like musically, it's not too complex. The interplay between the two choirs is really nice, but it's also like 7 minutes long. So liturgically, there's not a very easy place to stick the whole thing. You could abridge it, but like as a mass piece, it's kind of a tricky thing for me. So I'm solidly B there.
So I had this as the Marian devotional hymn at my wife and I's wedding, and we sang the whole thing,
which I sang for.
Yeah, so all 7 or so minutes. And when I was coming back to the faith, and when I was being introduced to sacred music, this was one of the songs that really just took me. And I think it's an easy song to sing. And one thing that really I love about it, before I tell you what I put, is when it's sung in either all men or all women's choirs. I think when you mix the choirs for this song, it muddles it a little bit. And when it's all men, it does have this sort of wonderful rigorousness to it that I just love. And I put it in my bottom A tier. I think the Amen alone is worth putting this in the A tier. So yeah, that's why I put it at the bottom of my A tier.
Mark,
who's next?
Oh, Mark. Okay, I gave it an A. I think it's beautifully constructed. The reason I didn't give it an S, there's 2 reasons. One, even though its B section is one of the most memorable sections of sacred music ever written, I think the A section isn't as strong. I'm being very, picky as a composer. Could be wrong, and it's also the length. It's a bit long for the liturgy, but I think what it does really, really well is it demonstrates how a composer could evoke very sweet feelings towards the Blessed Mother without dumping a pound of sugar into there and making it saccharine. There's a way to go about it, and it's more contemplative, and I think Biebl really hits that out of the park.
Awesome. Controversially, so I wrote it down as Angelus Domini, which is why I couldn't find the my ranking for it. But controversially, and this will come up in a few others as well, and I'm going to upset people, there's this sort of like 19th, 20th, 21st century USA homophonic style that doesn't grab me. And maybe I just need to be like, I need to like go into a cave and just listen to a bunch of them and try to extract from it. But whenever I listen to it, I can see the choir singing. I can see what they're dressed as. I can see all the lights on. I can see the conductor. And it seems too much of a performance to me. So I get taken out of the experience of the sacredness of it. It feels too clinical and too formulaic for me. It is a beautiful piece of music, and I understand why people love it. I ranked it as a B but I would want to rank it lower, I think, given my prejudice towards this sort of style of music in general. But it's a B for me.
Oh, if it's a B, I don't think that's going to upset many people.
Well, I might be more critical of these pieces, but I'm recognizing it's more of a personal taste thing. So I'm just saying that it might be higher than I give it. So
I think how you have I think there's 3 parts to the song. The Ave Maria, and I don't know if it goes into the Sancta Maria.
So it's 3 Ave Marias plus the sort of incipits, the Angelus Domini, and then into the Sancta Maria. So it's basically 4 parts.
By the time you get to that Sancta Maria, it is so beautiful. Just like you've set up kind of a thesis. I don't know what to call it musically, but then the Sancta Maria comes in. My heart's like soaring when that comes up. But looks like we have 3 A's, 2 B's, an A minus and a B minus. So I think this should be lower A based on that.
Okay.
Is it going above Adoro Te or below it?
Should be below it.
For now. Below it? No.
Yeah.
Wait, Mark's nodding. What do you guys
saying
say?
A little bit lower, I think, but
Oh man.
Like not much.
like a nudge.
Man. Okay.
Yeah.
Got like 3 pixels in there.
Okay. Moving on. Ave Maria, Schubert or Schubert, whatever it is. You know this song. Everyone knows this song, right?
Yeah.
So Dan, we'll start with you.
Again, it's tough to rank these. I just don't think it has a place in liturgy, but maybe because people have overplayed it and that's it, and so now it becomes almost like a meme. So I put it as a A/B. Like it's not S tier for me. Like it's just definitely not an S tier piece of music. I think if I had to choose, I put it at the highest of the Bs. But now I'm seeing like Ave Maria by Biebl, and I put it higher than that. So I don't know. it's everything's off.
No, this is definitive, just so you know. Okay, Mark, what would you say?
Okay.
I had to reserve my hot take for this one. I give it an F.
Hey.
Of every sacred or supposedly sacred work I have heard of this caliber from that era, it is the one I loathe the most. And I will say it is well constructed. It has a striking melody. It is very memorable, kind of in the way Pachelbel canons is. And I try to ignore the fact that it is overdone like Pachelbel's canon. But I think it's cheap. I don't think it's appropriately reverent to the lyrics. I think it's remarkably sentimentalist and saccharine to a fault. And it's kind of like the worst version of the Novus Ordo in the 19th century, right? And it kind of makes me feel icky in the same way On Eagle's Wings does. And I'm forgetting about the fact that it's often an occasion for showboating for vocalists, and also very bad failures at showboating, which otherwise still receive raucous applause. So I'm ignoring that fact in my ranking entirely. But I think if you, and I know that's a strong take, but I think if you compare it to every other Ave Maria on the list, I think you what you get in those others is sweetness and devotion without the 10 pounds of sugar. I think this piece would have worked out beautifully if you gave it other lyrics, because Schubert was the master songwriter of his era. I generally love his songs, and I think if simply the lyrical content was different, I would have said this is a great piece.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. Dude, mm-hmm. But imagine though, like, it's overdone. And so what I try to do is just like, if Schubert came to you, you were alive around his time, and he said, I've got this piece of music, I've brought in this great singer, listen. Like, I try to listen to it with a fresh set of ears. I just imagine it would like blow most people away, like absolutely floor them, and probably move them to tears. But that said, what you just said, like, I thought I was going to offend all the musicians here by giving it a high B. So I might change my ranking later on to lower. Now that I feel like I'm among company of people that, yeah.
All right. Moving on, Floriani.
Yeah.
What we got here?
So I put this in my low D tier. And also, yeah, sure. Many songs are overdone, but to me, the prayer, the Ave Maria, it's almost like it's just jammed into it lyrically. Like the words don't, they don't seem to make sense with the melody somehow. Yeah. And to me, that prevents me from feeling anything of what Mark had mentioned of like a sweet but not saccharine devotion to Our Lady. It doesn't make me really feel much at all. And then on top of that, it's one of those songs that everybody asks for a funeral or the wedding. And so it's like people think that they're getting sacred music when they're not. You know, it's like if they listen to, it's like, yeah, we listen to sacred music. We listen to the Ave Maria by Schubert. It's like, oh man, don't stop there. Please don't stop there. So yes,
interesting.
Low D.
Yeah. I have it at the bottom of D for me as well. I have to echo basically everything Mark said. And also, just to build off something Graham mentioned, in the way that it feels like the prayer doesn't fit the music, like it was just sort of poorly matched to it.
Good point.
If you want to hear the whole Hail Mary, you have to repeat the entire song twice. Sorry, not twice. You have to sing the entire song twice to get the whole Hail Mary. And if you don't have enough time for that, well, you're out of luck. And I confess that this does have a slightly personal tinge for me, because like Graham mentioned, and like Mark alluded to, this has become overdone to the point that it is kind of a cliche. Like, if you want, like in popular media, if they want to sort of like cheaply convey to the audience that like, oh, this is something you should get emotional about, you might hear the Schubert Ave Maria just like softly playing in the background, and it might have nothing to do with what's happening on screen. I think it's, bottom of D for me.
All right. Well, I put it in B tier because I felt like I had to.
Why?
I was really nervous that this is a song that people who know more about music love.
That's
I'm
the
so
tyranny
surprised.
of social norms.
Yeah, I know. So I was like a tentative B tier, and based on what I heard, I'm gonna go to C tier, like a solid C. Dan, you mentioned maybe changing your rank.
Yeah. I think I will change my rank. I think it's probably fair to go to a C.
Okay, so we have C, F, D minus, D minus, C. I think that means it's a D.
Yeah.
Are we really doing that? Okay.
Yeah.
Can't argue with
Yeah.
it. This is definitive.
Hey,
Definitive.
Rage drives social media interactions.
I've been waiting years for this moment.
Okay, at least they won't get mad at the person who gave it a C, because I'll be like, I wanted it higher. You know what I mean? All right, here's what we're gonna do. For this next round, we're just gonna list our letter, and then we'll have whoever gave it the highest and lowest ranks talk, and then if anyone has strong feelings, they can talk as well. So I will start Ave Maria Stella. Let's see here. I give this a B. I don't have really strong feelings about it. I think it's beautiful. It's never moved me to tears, but I think it belongs in the liturgy. It's a beautiful chant, especially the Benedictines of Mary. I think they're the ones who sing it.
Yeah, I also gave it a B. I'd echo all of the same things that you just mentioned.
I'm sorry, I just said we're just going to list the letter, and then I just started talking. So
no, that's fair. B for similar reasons. There's some beautiful settings, but I'd say the chant just by itself is probably B for me. Very nice.
Yeah, I put this in B as well.
Mark?
Okay, I give it an A.
Dan?
I give it an A too.
Oh, wait, I missed someone. Oh, maybe I didn't list my own. I gave it a B. And then Joe and
Two A's, three B's?
Yeah, 2 A's, 3 B's, so probably top of B.
Okay, anyone have strong feelings about top of B? Want to move it up or down?
Oh, hey, Tom.
Sorry, Tom. So B. It sounds like high B, so I'm going to put it kind of up like that. High A plus.
If you had gotten other members,
everyone.
If you had gotten other members of Floriani today, it would probably be an A right now. Both Giorgio and Thomas just got it.
That'll be round 2, maybe.
People also have to understand, we're trying to go for a
good distribution.
Good distribution here, and it is tough. There's some tough cuts that got to be made. I think
that's true.
Pretty fair.
No S yet. That's interesting. Okay.
My first S is 19 songs in.
Ave Verum by Byrd. So again, we'll just list the letter. We'll go bottom up. So Dan, you start.
Oh dang. Okay, I'm gonna upset some people here probably again. It's an A for me. I think some people would want it to be S tier. However, oh wait, I'm not supposed to talk. Sorry. Yeah,
Mark.
I'm not supposed to talk.
I'm going S.
I have this in A.
I have this in the middle of the A tier.
Okay.
Okay, I put it in B. So I guess I have the lowest. Well, let me hear from the S tier first, Mark.
I just think it's brilliantly composed. And I just will say that as a knee-jerk reaction, every one of Byrd's well-known pieces will get an S from me. And that's my personal prejudice, speaking very loudly.
I would be comfortable putting this higher because I love polyphony. So, and Byrd I think is a very interesting composer. So I'm not going to argue hard for my B. I'm okay with A. I mean, we only have one S, so I don't think we can put this in S tier. I think it's got to be an A. Any strong feelings?
It is a strong feeling, but it's just a strong thought. 99% of the time when you hear a choir sing this song, they're pitchy. Right? It's hard to get it, so it's a bit pitchy. And so that's why it's an A. Oh, yeah. But that's why it's an A for me and not an S, because it's hard to just get it right. I mean, in its most perfect iteration, yeah, but it just, I rarely hear it iterated well.
Okay, so I think it's a high A. Put it high like that. Okay, moving on. Be Thou My Vision. Dan, we'll start with... Wait, no, we start with me.
Why do I always start?
No, Be Thou My Vision, I gave an A. Again, it's a song, like, when in the right moments, it's moved me to tears. I love the lyrics. Makes me feel... I don't know how old the song is. It just makes me feel like I'm sorry, I'm talking. A. A.
High B.
Okay.
Low C.
Boo.
Hard C.
See Thou My Vision for sure.
Okay. I will speak a little bit more then. I really like this song. I have a criterion where if it's a piece I could see at Mass, it's like B and above, B, A, or S. I put this in A because I have been moved by it, and I think it belongs very well. It fits very well, you know, at the end of Mass, for example. Okay, who gave the C minus?
I did.
Okay.
So for me, it strikes me. I think it's a lovely song, but it strikes me as being more of a sort of praise and worship song.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I don't know the whole history behind the song, but there are so many greater hymns in my estimation that I would prefer to sing and to hear at Mass, and that I would say are more fitting at Mass. This one, I wouldn't say saccharine is the word I'd put, but it strikes me more as a song that you'd maybe sing amongst friends outside of the context of Mass.
Yes.
Having heard that, I'm comfortable changing my rating to low A.
What?
I mean, it's a beautiful ancient Irish melody. Like,
Oh, so from B plus to A?
Yeah. No, honestly, like I think it's
Yeah.
really moving. I think it's beautiful, and it's one of the... It's older than most of the polyphony that we actually are looking at, because like it's dated back to like Ireland in the Middle Ages, and it's lovely. It's moving. I think it's appropriate for the Mass.
You know, hearing that argument makes me realize that I think I might be prejudiced by the terrible renditions I've grown up hearing. So I'm going to jump up to a B.
Yes. Cool. Any other strong feelings? Okay, we got... It looks like it's solidly B because we have 2 A's, 2 C's, and a B. So I'd say solid B.
That's
B
good.
for Be Thou My Vision. Sounds good to me. All right.
Yeah, I'm going to hold my C, but I accept the decision of the course.
Great. Berlin Mass Kyrie by Arvo Pärt. Let's see. Dan, we start with you this time.
B.
Mark?
S.
C.
I had this as high C.
I put this at B, but it was also I'm not talking. Yeah, actually I can talk. No, I can't. All right. We'll start with Mark, S tier.
All right, so this is where you wish Peter Kwasniewski was in the house, because this is his favorite living composer, and it's close to one of mine. Admittedly, my grade comes from knowing the entire mass, I think, in context, and having heard it also done beautifully in the liturgy at St. John Cantius a number of years ago. Pärt is an Orthodox composer who, just briefly, if you don't know Arvo Pärt's work, he switched from being a modernist to a sacred music composer and had to flee his native communist Estonia as a result. It's quite the story. And the whole aim of this, it's different. And I'm glad it's on the list, because it's very different from everything else. It's very sparse. And I think what Pärt wanted audiences to do was to absolutely focus in with laser intensity on the power of the text. It's a meditation upon the Logos when he composes. And I think he wouldn't mind me putting it that way, having read a lot about him. So I think while it's different than a lot of the more traditional sacred music we have here, I think it harkens very effectively back to what Gregorian chant did, albeit in a different way.
Okay, who gave the C?
That was me. I love Arvo Pärt. I think he's an absolutely brilliant composer. I'm also familiar with his story, and I think it's incredible. The only reason I have it as low as C is that because it is so wildly different, like for the liturgy, it feels just a little, like musically, it's brilliant, and I genuinely really do like it. For the liturgy, it feels a little avant-garde, and I wonder if people who just sort of like go to mass and hear that might find it as more, like if they couldn't appreciate it, might find it as more a distraction than an invitation to meditate. So like to the common man, I wonder if they'd really be able to appreciate it. I really like it, though I just don't see it as being the most appropriate thing for the liturgy, if that makes sense.
I mean, the Kyrie is under 3 minutes long. How does the rest of it kind of fit into the mass? Because that's a good length for a Kyrie, isn't it?
It's quite short. It's pretty practical.
Yeah.
Can I change my... Well,
yeah, sure.
Can I change it?
Yeah.
I think I want to go A after hearing Mark. I haven't heard this piece of music in its setting that it was designed for. So I didn't feel like I could rank it higher than a B, but it is a beautiful piece of music. I think it's haunting, and I think I see your the point about it might be a distraction for people, and I do think maybe there is a time and a place, but I think I'm willing to put it up to an A based on your reasonings there.
I wasn't distracted by this piece. And by distracted, I mean imagining myself at mass, listening to it. It didn't feel too intense or like dynamic. I felt very meditative. So I'm comfortable with B.
I could go up to a B. I'm not hard and fast on the C. I could see it as a B.
I've been I think that hearing some of the things Mark said, and also just sort of putting my mind into the space of being at a liturgy, in the early morning, a solemn high mass, sometime in Advent or in Lent, and watching, the actions of the priest during this part of the mass, and hearing this and kind of being enveloped in this, it's a haunting sort of sound. But I will admit, the second time that I listened to it, because I had not listened to this before this little invitation, but the second time I listened to it, I enjoyed it much more, and I think that I could find myself falling deeper into it, especially in the context of the liturgy. So I'd like to move to a B.
Okay, so we have an. Oh, you're moving to a B as well. Okay,
Yeah.
so we have B, 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 S, and A. So I think that's high B, right? Did I do that correctly?
Cameron, didn't we almost include an Arvo Pärt work in Mass of the Ages? I remember we were talking about one.
Yes, I forget which one it was.
I forget too. I think it was for the first episode. But I remember was it a rights thing? Yeah. Yeah.
Do you remember the piece?
No, I don't. I have to go look through my notes from 4 years
fun,
ago. Yeah.
All right, moving on. Dies Irae chant. So I think we're on me now. Okay, I ranked this. I think people are going to rank it higher. Sorry, I won't talk. I ranked it a B.
I ranked this in the S tier.
Could you come back to me?
No, what'd you put? What'd you put?
Again,
You put D, didn't you?
No, absolutely not. It scored moderately high, but compared to the rest of the stuff on this list, high C.
Okay.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I love it. But like with the
we'll come back because
with the system I was using, it was a 15 out of 20, which is objectively good. It's just not better than a lot of the. Thanks, Thomas.
Heart of Stone here.
Yeah.
All right, Mark.
I do want to say this is the best chat comment thing I've ever seen. It's what a crowd. It's great. No, I give it an S.
Dan?
Easy S.
Oh,
Unreserved
man.
S.
Oh my goodness. Okay. We have to have who gave it the C plus again?
That was me.
Yeah.
Okay. Talk some more, Joe.
Sure. And again, like I said, I like it. I think it's beautiful. It's been influential on music for centuries. Shut up, Thomas. Sorry. It's been and like yeah, no, I mean if it weren't ranked up, if I weren't ranking this against some of the other pieces on the list, it would obviously be dramatically higher. But I can't put everything in S tier and I can't put everything in A tier. I could go to B. Just in the ecosystem of the music we're looking at, I don't think it's higher than much of the music that we're looking at.
Yeah, I completely disagree with Joe. Lyrically, I mean, this is one of the greatest poems that the church has, and
good point.
To bring to life the second coming of Christ in the way that it does, and then to have this perspective, singing from the sinner's perspective and demanding that Christ look to the cross to beg for mercy for himself is for the sinner's self is, I mean, there's such high drama in this piece. And then the chant itself, I think, a lot of chant is repetitive. A lot of the ones we've gone over is repetitive, and this has some repetition as well. But there's just such an awesome flow, and for me, it never gets boring. And it was an easy S tier for me.
Yeah, all this to say, I like it. I think it's great. I think it's brilliant. Do I think it's better than 90% of the things on this list? No, I don't.
It is probably one of the most quoted and used melodies in history.
Oh, absolutely.
It appears in Tchaikovsky, from Tchaikovsky to Star Wars, right? It's
and
everywhere.
Shining.
Yeah.
It's also in Lord of the Rings.
Yes, it is. There's a very neat video.
And Home Alone.
Yes, it's true. You may have all seen the same video from the BBC where they talk about the Dies Irae. Have you all seen this?
I haven't seen that one.
Type in BBC Dies Irae. It's a very entertaining look at that.
Yeah.
If y'all want to put it in S, you can put it in S. It's just not where I would put it given this slate of music.
I'm solid A. Like I'm going up to A from B, but it hits the head on the ceiling of A to me. Like I can't put it in S, but maybe how it shakes out, let's put it high A, and maybe we'll add it to our S tier later when we have more data.
But don't we have 3 S's?
But we have a C.
Don't we have 3 S's?
We have a C plus.
Yeah, that'll do it.
On the day of wrath, Joe,
Ah.
you will have to answer.
On the day of
Oh,
wrath.
I'm sure I will.
All right, moving on. Gloria Vivaldi. Who are we on? Is it you, Dan?
Sure. D.
Okay. Mark?
Oh, I'm going to go A.
Yeah, this one was tough for me. I flitted between C and B. Right now, I have it as a high C. I could be convinced to bring it to B because, as I said, I was already leaning in that direction. I'd be happy to talk more about that. But
D.
Graham, did you say C?
yes,
I'm still looking for it. Sorry, I think. Oh yeah, it's in B. It's low B to me. Okay, so we have two D's. So D's, hash it out with the A.
Yeah, Daniel. For me, I've sung this before in concert. It's beautiful. I love it. It's great. It is hilariously unusable for the liturgy. The Gloria is 30 minutes long. As a piece of art, I think it's tremendous. As a liturgical thing, I think it's utterly and pretty laughably unusable.
I agree with that sentiment. I think it's unusable in liturgy, and I don't think that we take into consideration as well that it's orchestral as well, so it's almost in a different kind of category. I love Vivaldi. I love his pieces of music, and this I would listen to this daily, but I just wouldn't want it in my liturgy, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I'd say Vivaldi wrote just about everything beautifully, and his cheerfulness wins me over. Oftentimes, I'm very off-put by cheerful liturgical music. I can't do a lot of liturgical Haydn, for instance. That being said, I think what you guys said made me realize that based on my own previously stated categories, I couldn't give it an A because it is quite that long and unwieldy. So I will do a huge compromise and go to a B+.
I appreciate Joe's point about unusable for the liturgy. But on the flip side of that, imagine living in a liturgical culture where we actually would be okay with
a 30-minute Gloria
and listening to a 30-minute Gloria during Easter season. I mean, that's that's beautiful to imagine. But I stick with my C.
There's Vivaldi in Mass of the Ages trilogy. It's very cinematic and it moves the story forward. I think it's great for film. But yeah, in liturgy, it doesn't have that awe-inspiring quality to me. Any other thoughts? We have
just for me, all the orchestral pieces will rank lower for me because of that hurdle that I see would be, even if you can fit it in the mass, and I've been to orchestral masses before, I do find it a little bit distracting. It's sensory overload, and I think that can take you out of the experience of encountering Christ in the Eucharist.
Yeah,
that creates a problem and a hurdle for me.
Yeah, I think the orchestral mass is generally only appropriate for high feast days, right? Where it's okay to put a little bit of rah into the liturgy. But yeah, I definitely can see that point. Yeah.
All right, so we got D, D, C, B, B.
B+.
B+. But one of them was a B-. So it's
probably
just a
somewhere
B.
in C.
Well, I think that's C then, right?
Yeah.
D, D, B, B, C.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's like middle of C. It's right in there. So it means Anima Christi is probably higher, since Anima Christi was high C. But we can adjust this later. Okay. Holy, holy, holy. I think it's my turn. I gave it an A.
I gave it a high B.
High B.
C.
B.
All right. I ranked it the highest, so I'll say that. I mean, the lyrics. Oh my goodness! I feel like I'm at the right hand of the Father with all the angels and saints. Like, I can't stop saying "Holy, holy, holy," and there's something about the composition that I feel like I am actually singing with the saints and angels. It's simple. It's not like profound and mysterious. It's simple to me, but it's very fitting. It just fits in so well. When I sing this at mass, it has moved me
Yeah.
plenty of times.
So I'm the lowest.
Yep.
Well, I can't disagree with you. For me, this feels more like what I wish praise and worship was, praise and worship services were, as opposed to what is liturgical.
Even for the end of mass.
Well, it's a distinction because there's a distinction between something that is inherent to the mass versus a thing that is added in. And hymns have been added into, they're not part of the liturgy, and this is a hymn. So I can see why you would have like that kind of tension there.
Yeah.
And so that makes sense to me.
All
So
right,
B?
we got B, B, B. So 2 B pluses, another B, a C, and an A. So I think it's high B.
Yeah.
I'll just leave it there for now. Okay, holy is his name, John Michael Talbot. Dan, we'll start with you.
Okay. Firstly, somebody asked who are these men, and we don't have our names up here anymore. So if you're just tuning in, Cameron's the director of Mass the Ages. I work for Mass the Ages, and I play electric and acoustic guitar and was a rock musician with dreadlocks once upon a time. Not anymore. And then we have the composer of Mass of the Ages. His name's Mark. Wave, Mark. Say hi. And then we have Joe and Graham, who are from Floriani. They lead a men's choral and ensemble, and they're awesome. They do great music, and we hope to be working with them. But holy is his name, John Michael Talbot. This was a piece that I actually, what do you call it? I made an arrangement for on guitar. And
It's really good.
And yeah, it's okay. I would put it as at a I mean, actually, I'd put it right where you put it, as a high C for me.
I'll go hard C on that.
Well, it's hard to fault the lyrics of this one, but perhaps it's maybe the arrangement that we listened to. I'd never heard the song before, but I put it at a low D.
I also put it at a D, and we can get into that later if we need to.
Yeah, it's a high C for me. It's beautiful. My issue with it, probably my only issue with it, is that I think it's written for the guitar. I think
It feels a little virtuosic to be like of use to a congregation. Like it was a beautiful thing to listen to, though liturgically I had some difficulty envisioning that being a thing at the mass where the congregation could come and
it's for sure a hymn, right?
Yeah.
And so it has a spot, and it does fit. I mean, how it's used in the modern day context, it was born out of like the movement of sort of charismatic Catholics in the 70s, 80s. So this guy was like a hippie folk guitar player. And then when he had his conversion, he decided that he was going to put all his talent into making hymns for praise and worship use. So it's a devotional piece. And the purpose of it is in that setting, and probably it was never intended for liturgy, and was only intended for sort of personal devotional use.
Yeah, I think if you're talking about guitar rock songs, you could easily, especially that era, you could easily call this an A effort from that era. But I'd give it an F setting for liturgical use. That's kind of, I think, why I average out at a C.
when I play this song for my kids and we're singing songs to God, it's an amazing. It's
Yeah.
beautiful. It's like
The refrain is
level.
good.
Yeah.
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 Whoa, S tier level.
For my kids.
Oh, for your
Yeah,
kids. Okay.
I'm a C plus for church music. So we got C plus. Well, I'll just read them: C, D, D, C, C. But 2 of them are C pluses. So I think we have just solid C here.
Sure.
Okay. How great thou art. I'm starting this time. I gave this. Sorry, where is it? A. High A. How great thou art.
Where did I put this? Yeah, I put this in C tier.
I put this in D.
Whoa.
I put it in C tier.
Okay, I put it in D.
Oh man, now I feel like I'm crazy.
No, we just have different like ways of ranking this, and that's
yeah.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. Oh, it's a song by Carrie Underwood. I guess she sang it once.
She wrote. Wow. Wow.
I
Wow.
also just love the lyrics, just unabashedly. I don't care that they're kind of like, sing-songy, like "How great thou art, how great thou art." I just, this is a song that has moved me. I guess I'm easily moved. I'm also very critical, but some songs just like creep their way in, and I love being at liturgy and singing to God just how great He is.
Yeah.
So those lyrics just like they really speak to me, like how great you are, how great you are.
Yeah.
Then sings my soul. So I really love the. I give it a solid A.
I've
Is this the
definitely-
first?
Oh, go
No,
ahead.
you go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. I've definitely been moved by this song,
Same.
and I would say it's one of those songs that I would prefer to sing around a campfire or something with my friends, or at home with my family, and just belt it out. I totally get that, and the song lends itself to that. For me, well, are you familiar with the song "Near My God to Thee"? The hymn.
I don't.
One of my favorite hymns. I kind of like to compare these two in a lot of ways because they sort of fall in the same genre. But to me, "Near My God to Thee," I would put like up in the A's probably. And I think part of that is the melody of "How Great Thou Art" to me is a little saccharine. It's like
It's hard to harmonize.
it's yeah, it is kind of hard to harmonize. It's like "Oh Holy Night" in a way. "Oh Holy Night," extremely emotional song. Everyone loves singing it at Christmas, but it's one of those ones that I wouldn't put up there with the best Christmas carols for that reason. That it's like this. It's got a poppy element to it that I'm not particularly fond of.
That's a great point. I'll go down to B for that point. I think it's
Carrie
a good
Underwood can
campfire
speak
song.
to that too.
That's good.
Did we? Is this our first, like, not overtly, but like definitely Protestant hymn that we've ranked today? Is this the first Protestant one that's come up?
I don't know.
I mean, the Schubert Ave Maria was written by Lutherans.
Okay.
Yeah, bigger question is what makes a Protestant hymn. If it's written by Protestants, that's not a problem, I suppose. But if it has Protestant theology in it, would be a problem.
Yeah, no, I was just wondering if that was the case. I mean, I think it's a very, very good piece of Graham was saying, it's something you want to belt out. It's emotional. It evokes a certain feeling, and I think it's good for that reason. I just don't see its fittingness in liturgy. I mean, the times it has been in liturgy, I think it's been fine, but it just hasn't like added much for me.
All right, looks like we're in C, solid C. B, C, D, C, D. So let's start doing rapid fire. So
Okay.
we're only going to share strong feelings. If we'll let the highest and lowest say a word. If anyone has strong feelings, share them. If not, we'll move on
Yay.
quickly.
Nay.
Okay, so we got In Christ Alone. Dan.
C.
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 B.
Shoot, I'm doing so much. In Christ Alone. C. I don't think we need to talk about it. I think that's.
All right.
Anyone have strong feelings? C.
It's nice.
A lot of C's. Okay, Locus Iste.
By Mueller, right?
By
Miller, yeah.
Mueller.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I've never heard that name before. I gave it a B.
A. Low A.
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 Cool.
Sounds like an A to me. Anyone want to say something about this?
It's nice.
It's nice.
The singers like it.
Lord of the Dance. Here we go.
Ooh.
I think we're starting with me. F. F. Low F.
F of Forsaken, for sure.
F.
F for what the frick?
In my first Catholic grade school, you can go below an F and hit a U, so I would give this a U.
Do you ever have the rare FU combination?
A few times. A few times.
Okay,
yes.
I'll say this as low F. I reserve this for just like what I might call despicable, like heretical, like just like. Whereas all are welcome, it makes me feel like I'm a cult. Like Lord of the Dance just reveals I'm actually in a cult.
The funny thing about this song is the author wrote it sort of about Jesus, but also about Shiva and the image of Shiva. And
Yeah.
when asked about its use in church, he was surprised.
Yeah,
So the composer himself was not really thinking of this as being something for Catholics.
Yeah.
Another thing I'd like to say about this piece is I really do like the melody. Like if I lived in the medieval times and I walked into some, pub and they were singing this song and it was about something else, I would love to, join them and
it's catchy.
So
it's actually musically well constructed, right? I mean, we could have taken this and put it to strings, and it would have helped some parts of Mass of the Ages. Even I could see like that working, right? But it's a pirate song almost, right?
Well,
it invokes images of this Jesus, this not real Jesus, this 1970s hippie Jesus, which actually kept me out of the faith for a while. So I have a fair loathing for this as a result.
All right, I'm moving us on.
The tune is actually originally from the
We'll say more in
Shakers.
the after show. We got
Okay, cool.
Miserere, Allegri. Dan.
The Essiest of S's.
Yeah, S as you can go.
S.
S, but not the top of S.
S. I gave it an S.
Hey, our first S.
got
Yeah.
Very appropriate.
Nice.
Solid S.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of Miserere, Mozart's Miserere in A minor, whatever K means, 85. This is the first time I heard this song. Okay. I'm first. I give this a B.
I gave it a B.
I gave it a D.
I give it an A.
B.
All right, Mark, A.
I would give it an S if it was more suitable for liturgical use. I think it's one of those brilliant Mozart pieces. So yeah.
For the D man, so I gave it anyway. It just felt like it plodded. I don't know if it was the recording that we had, but it just felt as though it plodded on interminably. And when the sort of like the other primary comparison you have is the Allegri Miserere, it's like, I mean, that you have a tough path ahead of you to start with, but I don't know.
I'd never heard this piece, but listening to it, I actually appreciated the contrast between its take on this text and the Miserere that everyone knows by Allegri. I could definitely be moved to making it an A. Personally, I was really floored by this take, and I love the subtle use of the organ too. It kind of comes in and out a little bit, and but largely it's a choral piece. I will definitely move my thing to an A.
Okay, so you change your B to an A.
Yeah,
which
put it on a
means
low A for me.
low A.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have AA, B, D. So where in the world does that go? Is that
Probably
a C?
I think it
No.
would be B if anything
I think
else.
it's a
B.
B.
Okay,
Yeah.
B. Or yeah, we'll leave it there.
Cool.
All right. Missa Papae Marcelli, Kyrie by Palestrina. Dan.
This is S as well.
Yeah, S.
Also S.
I had this as a high A. I guess I only had a couple in the S tier, but yeah.
I also put this S tier. It's actually the number one thing on my list. As
Wow.
high as
Ooh.
S. It's the song that's in Mass the Ages
number 2
episode
on mine.
1. I love it.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Ne Irascaris Domine by Byrd. So I start. This is also an S tier for me. We'll see where it lands for you guys.
Yeah, this is an S tier, absolutely, for me.
This is at the top of my S tier.
This is S tier.
A.
I think it's gotta be S. Do you want to say anything, Dan?
No, I can be moved.
Okay, you're moved. Oh God, beyond all praising. Dan, where'd you put this one?
I mean, obviously Gustav Holst wrote the music, not the words. Gosh, this was at my wedding. It's gonna be a B. It's a B.
I'll give it an A.
I give it an A.
I give it an S.
I gave it an A. So Dan did not like his wedding.
No, I loved my wedding. I love this piece of music, and I'm willing to be moved to an A because I had an A B, but I went more with B, for the reason that it wasn't completely written for liturgy. It wasn't intended as a hymn.
Sounds
by
like
the
a
original
solid A
composer.
to me.
Yeah,
I think it's my favorite recessional hymn.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
It's glorious.
We'll put it top A for now. All right, O Magnum Mysterium Lauridsen. For me, we'll start with Dan this time, I think.
a B. Very top B.
I give it an A.
I give it an A.
This was in my S tier.
Ooh.
This is also in my S tier. Obviously, I love it because it's in episode 2. It's at the finale of episode 2. It's deep and profound and incredible. It's like it's a masterpiece to me.
Yeah, for me, there's a lot of modern music that can tend towards a sort of detached etherealness, but I don't think this falls into that at all. And it always moves me because every single time I've heard it, it just draws me right to the manger. And I can, picture myself being there and witnessing Christ in the manger. And every single time after the part, the Virgo Maria, portare Dominum, and that builds. It's
so good. I know exactly what you're talking about.
The bass line is so juicy.
Yeah.
I love it.
Okay, SSAAB.
So probably very top of A.
Top of A. That sounds good to me. O Salutaris Hostia. Okay, I'll start. This is an A for me.
I have this in B.
I feel like I'm going to make a lot of people angry with the next 5. It's beautiful. I like it compared to some of the other stuff on the thing. It's in C for me right now.
Oh,
It's beautiful. I think it's appropriate. It's perfect. I just think there are a lot of better things that we're currently ranking.
I give it an S.
Good job, Mark.
Me too. I give it an S too.
Yes, guys. Good job. I love that this is getting S's. It's a beautiful song.
Yeah.
We have SS, A, B, C.
Yeah.
So that's like A, low A, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like this one could warrant some discussion.
Okay.
I put it in B. I definitely feel a little bad about that because I love it.
Well, let's do this. We'll discuss it if we have time. I'll put it over here
Sounds
so
good.
we
Sounds good.
look at it.
I also feel bad.
Pange lingua gloriosi. Dan, where'd you put this one?
I gotta find out my list. Go to someone else who is ready.
All right, I'll start. It's a B for me.
A.
I'll go with B.
I'll do S.
It's just so hard.
Ooh, I was S for A.
Come on, Dave.
I couldn't make my mind up, and I still can't make my mind up. But I'm gonna go with S. I'm gonna go with S because I think it has a place. Yeah, why not? We've only got 3 in there. I'm committing.
But I think it's A tier because we have SS, A, B, B.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an A.
And again, I'm sorry, I just want to say really quick, I really love these pieces. I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with them. The only reason that I'm ranking them somewhat lower is because of the preponderance of excellent music we have on the top of this.
Sure.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, our different ranking systems. Like, I'm ranking based on like, should it be in liturgy? So that's that's why Magnum Mysterium comes lower.
Yeah, right.
Regina Caeli.
Yeah.
Leitate. Dan, you want to start this one?
This is A for me, very high A.
I'd say S.
Oh, what?
Regina Caeli, simple tone.
It's
Not
did we do the
glossy.
simple tone or
Just
the
the
lofty?
simple tone.
Oh, was it simple
I
tone?
thought you just called him a simpleton.
I might be. What was in our playlist? Was
I
it
think
simple?
it was just the simple tone of the Regina Caeli, was it not?
So don't read that. It's a
Yeah.
simple tone.
Oh,
Chant.
okay.
Hey, our names are back.
Oh, nice.
For me, this is an A.
I'll say B for the same reason as before.
S A A B B.
High A.
That's high A. We have a lot in A. We're gonna have to fix this later. Okay. Okay, Requiem, Mozart. I will Dies Irae. I will begin to say C tier. Gosh.
Wow, you're ranking it kind of high. I put it at D. No,
Okay, good.
I did actually put it at D
Great.
for the same reason that I put Vivaldi at D.
Yep.
Yeah, I put it at a D.
Good job.
I'm going to put it at an A because I've heard it done liturgically a number of times and it was great, except for that one time I was watching a 3-year-old and he didn't want to sit there for that long.
Oh, yeah.
I had C/D, and I'll go with C, low C.
The reason I put it at D is because like the Dies Irae it's awesome. By Mozart, it only covers the first 2 verses of the entire sequence, and given how dramatic and bombastic it is, as a piece of music, as a piece of art, I think it's awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
I don't personally see it as particularly fitting for the liturgy, especially if you want to actually do the whole sequence.
Yeah, there's too many jump scares in it. That's what I noticed.
You need
Trying to
8
pray. It's
people.
like, ah!
Yeah. No, I think it's definitely S tier in terms of pure musicality.
Sure.
And I dropped it one level because it is liturgically difficult. Though, they do it almost annually at Cantius, and it comes off beautifully, I have to say.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. They should watch this video. Maybe they'll change their minds. So we have A, C, C, D with a low C. Is
Yeah.
that just C? Low C?
Oof.
A, C, C, D, D.
I think that's C.
I think if I move mine to a C, would that move it to a B?
No, it wouldn't.
That's
Go
illegal.
higher. Go higher.
I believe Mark about the experience of in the liturgy at St. John Cantius, and I'd love to experience that one day.
Mhm.
So
We'll re-rank it once you do
Yeah.
that. All right, Salve Regina. Dan, do you have your ranking there?
Was this the complex one or the simple one, or is it something
The simple
different?
one.
It was
Simple
just a
one?
simple one.
Yeah.
Again, for the same reason as Regina Celli, it's going to be an A.
I'm giving it an
High,
S.
high A.
Yeah. I'm giving it an S just because I think all of these particular ones, Regina Celli and Salve Regina, these are all very foundational pieces.
Yeah.
mhm.
Are they mass pieces? Because that would change my. Do they show up in the mass?
They're traditionally sung after Compline at night prayer,
Yeah.
depending on the liturgical season. So Regina Caeli, Salve Regina, Ave Regina Caelorum, and Alma
So it is
Redemptoris.
liturgical.
Yeah.
So it is
It is,
liturgical.
yes.
So liturgical, it's an A for me.
Yeah.
It's an A.
Yeah,
Okay.
liturgy of the hours. I put it at B. If we were talking about the solemn tone, that would have been an A. But the simple tone, it's beautiful. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. I'm putting it at a B.
Yeah, I'm gonna put this at an S. Though, as a musician, you sing a lot of music, you sing it over and over again. I can understand why people would get bored of it, I guess. But it is the anthem to Our Lady, and every Catholic must know it. And when you're in a congregation and everyone's singing it,
Yeah.
there's nothing like that.
We landed in high S for that one. Or high A, sorry.
Cool.
Sounds good to me. Okay, Secret Cherubus. For me, this is an S. Just a solid middle S for me.
A tier, definitely.
A tier.
I'm looking through my list. A tier.
I had S/A for me. I'll go with high A.
Cool.
That's a solid A. Which part of the Triduum is it sung at? The Easter Vigil.
It
Yeah.
is. I think it is
It's the final responsory
yes.
after the readings.
Yeah.
And actually, a point on that.
Before the epistle.
There's a second part to it, the CTV Anima
Yes.
Mea.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I included that in my ranking.
Okay,
Nice.
good. I could potentially move that to an S tier if it's included
Jointly?
with that.
Oh
Yeah, especially in the context of the liturgy.
Yeah, that's fair.
I love
Me too.
the final line. Where is your God? Like this. Those responsories are great chants, but you get through. What is it, 8
Guys,
of
is
them?
this low S?
Are
If
you
we're
changing
including that, I changed mine to an S. If we're including that.
Yeah,
if we're including CTV Anima Mea,
Yeah. We are.
it'd waffle between S and A for me at that point. I think overall it's probably going to be an S.
I think we just move this up to low S. All right, Table of Plenty. Speaking of S tier, Dan.
I'm going to put this as a D because it makes excellent memes. It's made some of the best memes, church memes, church music, church memes. Like it's
All right,
so
Mark.
it's a D for me.
Mark.
Well, Dan stole the reason I was going to make it a D, so I'll go down to F.
All right. Rapid fire. Here we go.
F.
Okay, I put D because it has a groovy bass line. So it's F plus. It made it to F plus. Okay, Ubi Caritas, Dufle. I put that in B plus.
High A.
For me, high A, low S.
I'm going to say B plus.
B.
Okay, that's a high B.
So-
B plus A plus, B plus B.
Yeah, okay.
What do you say? What are your
I
strong
mean,
feelings?
the reason I personally have it ranked so highly is that I defy anyone to find a setting of a chant that so purely preserves the essence of the chant while encompassing it in just a river of weaving beautiful musical lines. I think de Rufflet was the master of adapting chant, and I think he understood it to a degree that very few people have been able to do, both musically and rhythmically. And I think that Ubi Caritas by de Rufflet might be the greatest example of like the evolution of sacred music there.
I could be raised higher for that reasoning. I have a prejudice to the style of music, as I explained earlier, but your reasoning is valid.
Thank you.
It's high B right now. Unless anyone wants to switch from a B to an A.
Well,
I don't want to
that
because
would
we have
be
a
me.
lot in A right now. All right.
Well, I already switched from a B to an A.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Oh, that's an A then.
Oh, cheers.
Joe made me switch, so.
Gotcha. That's an A. Solid A. Veni Creator Spiritus. I gave this a B.
This is borderline AS for me.
I also put B. I really like it, but B.
I say S for, once again, its foundational nature.
Yeah, I mean, it's undisputably an S by my own ranking system, so.
S for Saccharin.
Wait, is that what we were doing? Is that what we were doing?
I think
Saccharin is
our
like
colleague
the
turned
favorite
into
word
a
of
snake.
trads. What's that?
I think our colleague just commented.
SS,
Also,
A
there's-
plus, BB.
It seems like there's not enough hymns or chants just to the Holy Spirit. And I mean, this one kind of captures that.
Ooh, we don't have any chance in S
Holy
tier yet.
Spirit.
Yeah, that's kind of a flaw with our list.
It is.
Yeah, that is a huge flaw.
Do we move this up to S? Low S?
Well,
I'd
we have
be
two
willing-
S's and
Oh, we
what?
have two.
Yeah, I said
SS,
A/S.
A+.
I'll move mine up to an S.
Okay,
Up
with
in there.
3 S's and 2 B's. What was I thinking?
I'd be willing to go up to an A, but again, just compared to a lot of the stuff we're ranking, it's hard.
Based on the fact that we don't have any chance up here, I'm willing to go up to like an A, which would put this in low S.
All right.
Remember, guys, this is definitive. Okay, the last but not least, right, guys? Not least, we have You Are Mine,
No, it's least.
David Haas. I think we start with me. I am proud to announce that I give this a C.
I liked you.
Oh wow. Okay, yeah, it is at the very bottom of my F tier. This is far very bottom.
This song creeps me out. I'm gonna go with an F.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah, I have to say F. I think it embodies every bad thing that happened in the second half of the 20th century.
Nothing to add to those Fs.
So Dan abstains from voting.
So Dan is also giving
No,
an F.
it's an F. I am giving it an F, yes. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so the way I did my list was
Oh, do tell.
I'm going to say something because I ranked it a C. B and above is liturgical music. C and below is like, don't do this at Mass. But what gets the emotions going for me? I think You Are Mine has made you guys say the lyrics make you feel weird or uncomfortable. I think they're saccharine. We love that word. Sometimes I love dessert. Just pile it on. Give me all the sprinkles on my ice cream. I was singing this song to my son the other day just because we listened to this list.
Yeah.
And it was nice. And it makes me
Nice.
I love singing it with my kids. In terms of church music, I wouldn't want to see it in church. But if you do it in church, I'm not going to kick you out. But if they did it at Mass, I would have a big problem with that.
Could I respond?
Yes. I'll
So
allow it.
setting aside the issues with the composer,
Yes.
the lyrics, when I see a hymn, I'd love to see that they are prayerful in some way. And like with prayer, we have adoration, we have thanksgiving, we have petition, we have contrition. I don't see really any of the four of those in this, and like specifically because it's just sort of quasi-scriptural lyrics, like written in the first person, like persona of God. Like why are we singing this, and what's the, I don't even know what the intention is behind this. Like I get that like the general idea is like God loves us and we are God, but also I don't see any prayer in that.
Imagine a child singing this to a puppy that he's rescued from the pound. And I don't know, that's kind of what I envision, and that maybe this was written for a Disney movie about that.
Well, sometimes I feel like a dog that's from a pound that needs his daddy to come and buy him. Like, sometimes I feel like that spiritually.
Sure.
So.
I find it a little bit. I find the song arrogant because he's writing from the first person of God speaking, but he's not using any of God's actual words. Yeah. He's using his own like envision of who God is, and it's steeped in some like faith of some description, but you're not really sure of the motives behind it, and I just find it arrogant.
But does Adoro Te Devote use scripture, or is it just based on scripture?
I mean, Adoro Te Devote is just laden with good theology. It's based. I mean,
name one bad theological point, and you are mine.
Say what?
Name any bad theology, and you are mine. It's baby theology, but I think complex.
Anthony Esselin writes about the problem with a lot of modern hymns is that it's just bad poetry, and you know, if you were just to read this song, it's kind of just meh, and then
it's baby,
and then
baby
again,
music.
Just I don't want to dive too deeply into this, but knowing that these are the lyrics written by the person they were written by just makes them a lot
That's
more
a great
uncomfortable.
Point.
Like really, really uncomfy.
Yep, I hear that. All right, I'll compromise and put it in B.
Ha 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 ha.
All right, F tier, you are mine. Any last words on O Salutaris?
I just don't see how the Salve Regina is not in the S tier. I think that's a bit scandalous on our part.
Hey, if we include the solemn tone of the Salve, I'll go there. If we're just talking, simple tone, I can't do it.
I mean, O Salutaris and is not for me like how I rank them in S is that they had to show up in the Mass. Like, so if any of those in there, like they would have got an S tier rating for me if they show up in Mass. But Salve Regina, I can see that like, the solemn one should be the highest of the A's at least.
Also, Mark alluded to this earlier, and Joe was talking about how this is part of Compline. So it is a liturgical piece, and the liturgy is more than just the Mass. And so it should encompass all of the aspects of the liturgy, and the hours are what sanctify time. And to honor Our Lady at the end of each day with this hymn, I think is, I can't go less than an S on that one.
All right, we can continue talking. I know some of you guys have hard out, so what we'll do is we'll have an after show right after this. Let me throw it to Mark to tell us where people can find your work, how they support you, and then Joe and Graham after that.
Thank you.
Hi. Thanks, Cameron. If you Google my name, you'll come to my website, and some recent things are there. And I've got you can also Google my, not my WordPress, what's something everyone's using nowadays?
Wix?
Not Wix, the blog.
Substack.
Substack, thank you. Please Google my Substack, subscribe there. I have a bunch of stuff coming, including a new 35-minute Seven Last Words of Christ that was premiered last
Ooh.
month, and we're working on the final production of strings, percussion, clarinet, and a fantastic bass baritone soloist. And I'd love to share that with a lot of people. So please follow that there.
Awesome.
So Joe and I are part of a quartet, a men's ensemble called Floriani Sacred Music. And we are a 501c3 nonprofit. We have devoted our lives to sharing the great liturgical music tradition with people and educating them in its practice, all with the purpose to give greater glory to God and to bring people to Christ, and then also to enrich our liturgy. And you can find us on social media. We have an Instagram, Floriani Sacred Music, and we will be, and a YouTube page. And our website is floriani.org. We have a CD coming out called Chants of Deliverance. We worked with several exorcists talking about the various chants that are used in the rite of exorcism, and also just chants that are particularly powerful in the spiritual warfare. And so we made a nice little compilation of those, and that'll be coming out during Pentecost.
And two quick notes. First is that we also have a chant camp for kids coming up. So if you're in Arizona, absolutely visit our website, floriani.org. If you want to enroll any of your kids in a week-long summer camp to learn the chants of the church and begin to just really start embracing that tradition, visit our website. And also, something every single exorcist told us is that Salve Regina is one of the most efficacious chants that they can play or sing during deliverance, which I had forgotten briefly. So I'll have to put it at S for that reason.
Nice.
Yes.
Well done.
Did you just change your rank?
The solemn tone. But
For the Salve?
For the Salve Regina, yes.
Oh man, I think it's low S now.
I think if the Lord was here and he was with us, he would also put that as the Essiest of
That's
S's.
an unfair argument.
It's a song about his mother. Why is it unfair?
Okay, no, that's a good point. It's actually a good point. So what I'll do is we'll actually solve this list. We'll get it a little more into a bell curve off screen. We'll share it on social media, what the final list is. It'll look largely like this, but screenshot this. This is definitive right now. It is definitive. You guys can sign off. I'm just going to give a little pitch here. So thanks for joining us as well. Thanks for doing this ranking with us. We have almost 500 people watching. Please, would you consider supporting Mass of the Ages? We are in need of monthly supporters to help us continue our mission. We have introduced millions to the traditional Latin Mass with our trilogy, but now we actually want to move the needle and train priests to celebrate the traditional Mass. And we need your help to do that. Right now, you can go on our website. If you click on trainings, you can find the priest training there. We are releasing a free priest training for any priest in the world to take and learn the traditional Mass. But it's expensive. I mean, just to keep the training online is a few $1,000s each year. To keep our Latin Mass Finder online is, a few $100 a month, something like that. So we need monthly support. Your monthly support also gives you access to our Telegram group. So you can get some behind the scenes looks at what we're doing, help us plan videos like the one we just did today. And you can see at what we're working on. What are the next feature films Mass of the Ages is working on? So if you go to massoftheages.fund, you can donate there. Or if you go to our website, latinmass.com, you can just click the donate button, and that's another way you can donate. And please consider giving a monthly donation. I know sometimes it's like, oh, there's 482 other people watching, and it's like someone else to do it. But we are a nonprofit. We rely 100% on donors. So please consider donating. Your gift is tax deductible, and we really appreciate it. We have a lot of exciting videos like this coming up. There's one particular interview. It's kind of like a debate conversation, but I can't tell you about it. Don't say it unless it's happening. But that's coming out soon. I can't wait to tell you more. I'm actually going to message the Telegram group about it right now. So please support us at Mass of the Ages, and would love to continue this conversation in the comments as well. So with that said, God bless you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful day. The Mass of the Ages donors are bringing traditional Catholicism to millions. Go to latinmass.com/give to join the movement.